Hey everyone, Chris here, psychologist, triathlon coach, and today we are talking about how stress affects us on the bike. So I'm here on my turbo so we can do a bit of demonstration, and one of the things that I've been looking at a lot recently is the amount of tension that we hold on in ourselves. So whether we're down on the hoods, or specifically I've noticed as well, especially when we get down in the aero position, there is a ton of tension. Where is that tension? Well, some of it's down in our legs, in our lower legs, in our upper legs. A lot of it's up in our arms as well, like we might be really holding on to the bars. Here I've got really easy to tense up my arms all the way from my shoulder down to my hands, and that can tense up the neck area as well, and that's a ton of tension. Similarly, it happens a lot if you imagine when we go uphill, we're often really wrestling the bike around or in a sprint, but a lot of the time when we're just riding along steady state, especially in the aero position, we end up holding a ton of tension. Now, some of that could be bike fit, but most of that is just that we naturally tense up, and we need to stop it. We need to relax. Why? Because it wastes energy. If you think when you pick up a weight, you are contracting the muscle, it's tension, it takes energy. Well, it's the same thing when we hold tension here. Even if we're not necessarily contracting, this is just an isometric contraction. So it wastes energy just like anything else. If we're holding that tension, that's energy the body's using up. And obviously that's bad because we want to be as efficient as possible. We want good cycling economy. And so if we can get rid of that tension, then we can drop our heart rate a couple of beats. And I've found that on a bike, if I'm cycling along and I just really release all of the unnecessary tension, my heart rate normally drops 1 or 2 beats. And we could equally use those 1 or 2 beats to get faster and to just put a little bit more energy through the bike for the same energy expenditure, or we can just take it easy and feel better. Either way, it's good. So how do we go about it? How do we go about releasing that tension? Well, the first thing we want to do is just bring some awareness to it. So as we're cycling along, just really focusing on, are we gripping too hard? Are we really digging our elbows in? Are we really slamming our feet onto the pedals? Or can we just free the whole thing up a little bit? Similarly on the hoods, can we just relax the upper body? Are we really holding it there? Or can we just float like a cloud on top of our bike? I find that especially in the aero position, that idea of floating like a cloud just helps me release that tension in my legs, in my arms, and maybe then that becomes a mental trigger. So thinking about floating like a cloud will just release all of that tension, or use that as a trigger word, and whenever you say to yourself, cloud, I'm a cloud, you're able to release that from your body. So how do we ingrain that? Well, we use relaxation drills. So as part of our training, when we're going along, we think, okay, let's do a minute where we really focus on being a cloud, and just that 1 minute of awareness, really focusing on letting all the tension go in our limbs, arms, legs, in our neck. And we can keep doing that just like we would do single leg drills to work on form. We can do these relaxation drills, and then it's just a case of bringing awareness to it. So when we're riding outside, every now and then we can just do a body scan, similar to the way if you've done a body scan mindfulness practice, we just do it on the road on the bike and just scan through the body and think, okay, let's release tension in my neck, in my shoulders, in my arms, in my thighs, in my calves. Let's just get rid of all of that tension, and hopefully it will melt away. Now, the other thing that really helps here is having a fairly high cadence. So if you spin very slowly, you're probably going to struggle because it is a bit like a big climb or a sprint where you're wrestling the bike, whereas if you're spinning much faster, you're going to be a lot lighter on the pedals anyway, and so it's going to be easier to do that. The other thing to bear in mind is that thoughts, feelings, behaviors, all of that is connected in psychology. So we need to relax in terms of our thoughts will help dictate our behaviors. So if we're really stressed and we're thinking about how hard the race is going to be, how long we've got to go, and we're having a lot of these stressful thoughts, our body will respond to that stress, and it's likely that we will tense up as we have those thoughts. Whereas if we can bring a bit of mindfulness to the situation and we can try and let go of those thoughts, just experience present moment, experience the world around us, just listen to our body without judgment and without engaging in those thoughts of, oh, I'm 10 kilometers into a 100-kilometer race, this is going to be unpleasant. If we can stop engaging with those thoughts, not avoiding them, but not buying into them either, and just experiencing the present moment as mindfulness teaches us to do, then we're not going to have the stressful thoughts, and therefore they're not going to cascade down into the body. Relax our thoughts, that will relax our physical body as well. So give it a go. Next time you're on the bike, next time you're on the turbo, just practice. See if you can release any tension. If you've got the heart rate reading, see if you get any benefit out of it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but I find as soon as I just release all that tension, I feel better. My heart rate goes down just slightly, but it does it consistently, and it feels great. Hopefully that's useful. If so, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know how you get on with your practice, with the relaxation drills, or just noticing how much tension you're holding on the bike. Let me know in the comments. And if you do a lot of triathlon, a lot of cycling, then hit the subscribe button, because I'm making these kind of videos all the time and I would love to see you on the channel.